So here's the, this is sort of related to this. What do students need most online? Jen, do you have ideas about that?
Yeah, I do. Being an online student currently, and watching my kids be online students, and then having taught on the other side of that, I think they need communication. Number one, they need to know that we're invested in providing help and content and chats about that content. Some students, even online, just need a little more engagement through an email or, hey, let's meet up and chat face to face for 10 minutes and answer some questions. So communication, from what I've heard from my students, what I hear from my peers and colleagues as we go through online work, is the instructors and the teachers who engage with us on a regular basis give us really good information. So we get a lot of detail up front about what those assignments look like, but we also get some drop dead dates. So I'm pretty flexible as a person. Like, we went online and I was like, you know what? I know a lot of you are dealing with stuff, so get me your assignment within this range. Like, I don't need it Monday morning. Get it to me within this range, and hopefully that helps alleviate some stress. But students were like, no, I need a drop dead, like, today. I got to know when you want it and at what hour you want it. They needed that kind of specificity in order to be successful. So knowing your students is still super, super important, and knowing how to communicate, and then doing that communication. Teachers who disappear online cause a lot of stress and frustration for their students, because students still want to do well for us, even in an online format. And we forget that they can't read our minds from far away, and that they don't see the big picture that we do. So we need to provide the big picture more in an online format than we would even in a face-to-face when we see them on a regular basis. That's just one aspect, I think, of online learning that we as teachers, instructors can get better at in the long run, is being able to paint a picture and then walk them through it. Just, if we go back to the analogy of a tapestry or someone painting, as you provide information and students respond and they learn, the picture comes to life. But we've got to give them the paint by number kit to start with a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on Jen here and reinforce some ideas. She says, yeah, students really do need to see the faculty member. A lot of blogs I've looked at, a lot of research I've looked at with online learning is that students, especially at the beginning of a unit or a week or a topic, however you're structuring your online class, they need to see your face. And so typically a great format is for teachers just to do a video overview of that unit or that week and the assignments within that, so they get to see your face. And then there's also feedback through it. So you're participating along with them. If they're having threaded discussions, then you're participating in it as well. And then obviously there's feedback given after assignments are turned in. But a huge piece of that is that students really do need to see their teacher's face. The faculty member who just puts up a syllabus and maybe some links to assignments and just leaves it at that and then grades them and maybe provides no feedback, your students will not like your online class. They will not. They need to see you. And so you have to up your game a little bit as a faculty member, maybe in some of the areas of technology, learning how to record Zoom videos. I mean, it's that easy or whatever, so that you can just say, hey, students, here's what's going on. And so that's a further kind of addendum or whatever to what Jen was saying.
Yeah.
And I'll add to that, when you get to teach at Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 o'clock and you greet students at the door and you're saying hi and you're taking 3 to 5 minutes to kind of settle in and check in with them, that's the element that's missing now with online learning. And one of the advantages of online is that you can be clear, concise, and packaged. Here's the content. But if you've missed that check-in or see you later, have a great weekend, do you have any questions, and that interaction, that's really where you have to extend yourself to be available to your students and find ways, creative ways to allow for some of those relational aspects to happen rather than just being cold and calculating and here's the content, learn it or else. I also think that students, they really need time to be successful. It's more time to us, but we also have to realize that it may be more time for the students to accomplish something or to get it to craft it the way they want. Some of how they're producing their work or demonstrating what they've learned is maybe a little different, or maybe they're using technology now. Maybe they're making their own videos and stuff. And so to expect things to come in pretty quickly, maybe having less assignments, but having them broader or bigger to begin with. A less is more. We want a quality of learning, not a quantity of learning. So less little things. We're not going to nickel and dime them as we assess them, but we're going to have fewer things that are bigger and maybe more overarching of what students are learning. Might be an effective way to not let them fall behind. So they're not just missing a bunch of assignments because they're small and they don't have time to do them.
Yeah, that's to piggyback on Aaron there. And we're going to be talking about this a little bit later in another round table. But the structure of your class is vitally important for students. So going back to the student who's in China, they may not even see the introduction video to the unit or to the week until 3 days after some of the other students, and then you're expecting them to turn in an assignment. It just doesn't work. So you have to think, so am I gonna lengthen the amount of time in which I structure each unit or the week, or the number of assignments, like Aaron was saying? So that's kind of a key, just thinking logistically that my student may not even be able to see the information, let alone interact with it in a timely way that I'm expecting. So having strict, like, okay, every Sunday at 9 o'clock your assignment is due, well, that may not work for students given work schedules or where they're at, geographically in the world or whatever. So you have to just kind of rethink that a little bit.
Yeah,
well,
I think
they need to have 2 weeks to know that it's coming, rather than you sign something on Monday and then it's due on Sunday. You have to map it out farther in advance so that they can manipulate their schedules to be able to get the work done.
Yeah.
Yeah, not hiding. I was talking about that big picture, not hiding it from them, but showing it so they see the progression of events. But I wanted to just really quickly go back to when we talk about the communication, and like Aaron was saying, it's about humanity too. So it's about connection on a level that isn't just every time I see this teacher, I'm only talking content. It's about the teacher emailing out, hey, everybody, just checking in with you this week. Tell me how you're feeling. What can I pray for? How do you want to connect? And asking them on a human level how they're doing and having that connection, because the hard part about not being face-to-face is not having that energy in the room, but you can still get that. It has to be very intentional and has to be something that you strive for as an instructor, is to connect with your students, not just for content, but because we're humans and because we want to be a mentor or a coach or whatever it is to guide them through learning. So we have to put the extra in for that.
It's the stupid stuff too, right? That's the relational stuff. So I'll start a Zoom with, what's the favorite thing you've eaten the last week? Or what are you watching? What are you reading? Or even having students, they all have to email me, what was your favorite meal this week? Just so that I guess it's forced engagement, but it's the human part, it's the relational part, and it has absolutely nothing to do with school.
Yeah.
If you have 180 students, that's hard. But again, they can email you or respond to something, or it's not like you're having an individual conversation with everybody, but you set up some big, simple things, questions that you can ask that students can engage if they want to. It's not like every student has to engage with that, but you give them the opportunity if they want to.
Yeah, I've done that in classes where I have what I call, every couple of weeks I just have professor's office. It's worth like 2 points. It's really doesn't mean much at all. And it's just questions like, how can I pray for you? Is there something going, how would you apply this thing to your life? And they could just say, I'm fine, and they get the points. But it's amazing how many students just will use that opportunity to say, man, I don't know what to do. This is going on. I don't even know who to talk to about it. And I'm really frustrated with whatever. And I noticed even those last couple of weeks with our face-to-face classes, there are students who sat in the back row basically the whole time, and I didn't know really anything about them. And through some of the activities we did, all of a sudden, I got to know them pretty well. They were parts of their lives I didn't even know about that they revealed through this kind of class, right? So